This hangout is on air live. Okay, Elijah, you have to stop doing it now, okay? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome back to the Aloha Hour. I am your humble, bleached out host. I know this bright, this light. I have to use the light. I got to work. So, Mike Miller here. How you doing? Hope everyone's well. It is 10:37 in the p.m. Pacific time in San Diego, and once again, the wise, all-knowing, effervescent Edwin Boyette.
Aloha. It is wonderful to be here again.
It's only me and you and me. No matter how we invite people, it had to be.
I've got you, Mike.
Edwin. All right, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm just calling. I'm gonna go ahead and call dibs on Sonny. You're gonna have to be sure.
I've got you to hold my hand.
Let's not give anybody any nightmares during the.
All right, let me close this out. I don't need to see that. And just minimize Twitter. So, anything interesting happened today? Guys,
Well,
that other video is already like the most viewed video I've ever had in like the last 2 months of doing regular YouTube. It's over like 2,300 views already. Very interesting. Very interesting. I do wonder if I'm going to get a phone call tomorrow.
From someone at DC Comics?
Yeah.
Actually, if they do call you, you should log the time and then you should send them an invoice for consultation. Because whatever that was, is not made for humans. It might be made for millennial weirdos. Who is going to watch that mess except for maybe us?
Dude, we only watched an hour of it. It was 3 hours long. I went back and looked at it. It's like we missed 2 hours of that thing. Man, we could have had so much fun.
And we didn't, we didn't even have much of the audio, but pretty much every 30 seconds, it was just Kevin Smith going,
Kevin Smith getting all weirded out by John Barham and touching him.
Yeah. Slowly caressing his shoulders. It was like, oh my God, what am I watching? And then like, ragamuffins, little millennial, were they even millennials? Whoever they were. Those guys like at the end of the couch, these interchangeable.
Yeah.
But
I want to be the face of DC Comics. Can I be the face of DC Comics? Do you have anything to do with comics? No.
Yeah, and then they put all the diversity got exiled to the pinball.
It reminded me of like a political event where they put a bunch of dark-skinned people behind the candidate.
Yeah. Oh my God.
They put Jim Lee in the back of the bus, man. They put Jim Lee in the corner.
Yeah, that's not the only legitimate comic person there, right?
No. Kevin Smith is a legitimate comic person. He has written quite a few.
I guess.
Yeah.
But DC. Well, did Kevin Smith do anything for DC?
That's a good question. All I can think of him doing was the Daredevil stuff.
But status-wise, there's no way that you even equate Kevin Smith with Jim Lee, right?
Oh no, I don't. And I'm not like some blithering Jim Lee. I was trying to come up with a word. I'm not some babbling apparently I am babbling, but I'm not some blithering Jim Lee, fanboy. I liked him in the early 90s. And I don't want to say then I met him, but I met him. I knew him a little bit. We've talked a couple of times.
Yeah.
We've talked more than a few times. But I understand Jim Lee's status in this industry, and I mean, you put Jim Lee in the back of the bus. What the hell are you thinking?
Yeah, and that's what happened. Low budget Tony Stark said, "Hey, Asians, back of the bus.
Oh my
This is a
gosh.
white man show."
Seriously. Hey, I'm gonna be head down. Can you keep an eye on chat in case there's any super chats? Because I
yeah.
need to get work done on
Absolutely.
this page that I'm not going to show any of you.
Yeah.
Secrets. Shh.
But
No words.
Comicsgate straight up took over that stream.
Yeah, we kind of own the last hour of that thing. That was, I think that's right. Anusgate took over. Mitch,
Hey,
aloha, my friend. Aloha.
How are you guys doing?
Good, man.
I hear this is the stream where you can come on and just vent and curse up a storm, take the Lord's name in vain. So this is why I popped in tonight.
That's actually Cecil's stream.
Oh,
Have you been hitting the bottle again, Mitch?
no, I'm just here. I'm kind of up late working on a project.
So, Mitch, did you miss all the fun today?
No, I had a crazy day too.
Where's Ethan?
What was fun? Ethan, I don't know. He hasn't popped online at all this evening, as I've noticed. He usually streams in the evening. I did speak to him on the phone today, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary. So
okay, I just want to make sure he's okay because usually he doesn't just disappear for 10 hours straight. That's not.
yeah.
Well,
yeah. I mean, I talked to him on the phone, and he may have he may just be wiped out. He's been going full stop.
He just launched an Indiegogo today.
Yeah. So you think he would be on?
Yeah.
Oh well, hang on. Well, let's
I didn't think about
Cyberfrog for him then.
Can you shoot him? I don't have his number. Can you shoot him a text or something and just make sure he's okay?
Yeah, I will.
But yeah, Cyberfrog is open once again for business. You can get the brand new alternate cover issue. It's got two tiers. So it's not rocket science. You just pick one of the two. But yeah, please do check it out. And if you really want to get the extra cover, you can do that. If you haven't gotten it yet, now is your chance. Cyberfrog back in business.
Now he is already open pretty strong.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So let me see if I can do this. Yeah, so Mitch, it was it was an interesting day. Today DC Universe did this
I did see that. I did catch some of that.
Did you catch it on my stream?
No, I didn't watch your stream. I guess I should have.
We kind of did a Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing, and at least an hour into it, maybe an hour and a half into it, Comicsgate took over the chat essentially on their YouTube.
Heard about that. I did see that. That was hilarious.
Yeah, oh my gosh, my face hurt from laughing so much. We just
did you see what Cecil did?
No, I mean,
well, he put out a tweet too, saying, "Hey, this is going on live right now."
I saw that after the fact. Yeah.
And I guess that's when a lot of people came on and were bringing up the bunghole incident, I guess, for lack of a better word.
The back hole.
So, yeah.
Oh no.
What a disaster. I don't know. Cecil's upset about it. He has every right to be. He said I was on his stream earlier. It was hilarious. It was funny. It was genuinely a very funny stream. He said he canceled all his DC stuff today.
Really?
So yes, that's what he said.
Yeah.
If the masked man is to be believed.
All right.
Well,
so
if we know anything about Cecil, is that he's happy to cancel orders.
That is true.
Okay. So in one day, Ethan has been backed by 598 backers.
Nice.
$26,710. I do know he's got a pretty cool stretch goal. Let's see.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic stretch goal.
Did he list it on here?
Shh.
Hmm.
He announced it on Twitter. I don't know if it's on the.
Okay, so yeah, I don't see it up here. Here's the deal, though. If he raises $50,000 on this iteration of Cyberfrog, 10,000 of that is going to go for cancer treatment or cancer research. I can't remember specifically which one it was.
Yeah.
It may have been cancer treatment.
It's children's
So it's
cancer,
gonna-
right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's going to go directly to a charity.
Great.
Yeah, my friend, man, his niece, just 4 months old, 22 pounds. They just pulled a 2-pound tumor
Oh
out of
my
her.
gosh.
Yeah. So they're gonna put her into a chemo, which freaking
That's
chemo.
horrible.
But yeah, 4 months old, so gnarly.
Let's see. I just missed a super chat. Hang on. Let me see if I can get back to it.
I got it. Mark C for $5. Do you think the DC live stream kind of forced him into quiet time? Oh, Ethan, that had crossed my mind. That had crossed my mind. I think I'm a little. My bridge with DC is a little more burned than Ethan's probably is at this point. But hey, you know what? If I get a call tomorrow, it'll be a good time to air that grievance. So
I'm telling you, though, man, track that time, and then send them an invoice for consulting, because that show, who's it made for? I mean, I was joking earlier, but it's not made for us. It's not made for kids. Who's interested? It's like whoever put that together and conceived of that.
I think they're trying to come into our space, but they don't understand the space itself. So they just think they're doing another produced TV show where they can answer a few questions, and it's like, no, whatever. It's not going to accomplish, I think, what they think they're trying to accomplish. Mitch?
Blowing through a budget.
Yeah.
If that's I think if they're going to blow through a budget, I mean, this looks very expensive. I mean, it didn't look like ridiculously expensive, but
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like an expensive looking set and all, but it was nice enough. And they had they paid Kevin Smith, I would believe, quite a bit of money to do this.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, surely he's got a lot of options and things that he can do. He's got to be expensive.
Lowball, what do you think all that cost? 100,000?
For the one episode per episode. I don't know. I don't know if it costs that much for one episode, because they're not paying very many actors. They just pay Kevin Smith and then the crew.
John Barrowman was there too.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, Terry Hatcher was there too.
Okay. Well, I only tuned in for a little bit.
Yeah, I just kind of skipped through it after the fact, and I'm like, oh wow, because we were only there for like an hour, but that thing was 3 hours long.
They may be pulling some favors, but you can't pull favors all the time. Is this supposed to be a regular thing?
I think so.
Mitch, have you ever seen a network called Geek and Sundry? It's essentially like a web-based network and a YouTube network. They do like
heard about it, but I've never seen it.
That's almost seems like what DC's trying to make.
Hmm.
I don't know what their thought process is.
Yeah.
Seems like you should like maybe just stay on your core competency.
Yeah.
And not be a lifestyle. It seems like kind of a lifestyle brand move.
Interesting.
In many ways.
Yeah.
Lifestyle.
So
brand.
are you gonna start the Rooster lifestyle brand? Maybe Rooster body washes.
Ooh, I'm in.
I don't know. I don't know what the Rooster lifestyle.
Maybe
would
some
be.
Rooster low carb cuisine.
Yeah, it would definitely be low carb. It would be low carb. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Lifestyle brand's not my territory, I suppose. Other than, I mean, I get it in a way, but if you were going to cultivate a brand like a brand association around your product outside of your core product itself. My suggestion, and hear this, well, they can't do this though, is to create for yourself a culture in the retail space that you can cultivate almost like a fashion house does, right? They have their designs, then they have their show, then they have their product, but they also have their stores, like flagship stores. Like if I was going to spend a whole bunch, if I was a company and I was trying to cultivate a relationship with my audience, I probably would do it through, I don't know, retail in some way. Does that make sense? Instead of putting on a show for people, which I guess we're doing here, but we don't have access to those kinds of budgets.
I mean, I don't know how expensive that set was. It kind of looked like, reused San Diego Comic-Con backdrops.
Well, it does, but it's like the risk of it all. Like it kind of looked like a mess, and you never know when it's going to get really cringy. It can go cringy very, very quickly.
Well, I hate to be redundant. Did you see that they put like Jim Lee off to the corner?
When I came on, it says like, "Where's Jim? Where's Jim?" I thought he left, so I didn't even see Jim.
Yeah, he was like, okay, so you had the couches here, right? So Jim Lee was at a drawing table back here.
Okay.
Like jammed away, like they put baby in the corner.
That is weird. That does sound weird.
Yeah. And then they had all these like, jegging wearing soy boy people
skinny
that no one had ever heard of.
Writers? Are these artists or writers or creators who were?
No.
They're just like I don't know. People
like
man off the street. Their personality.
Their personalities that they were going to use, I think, to try to run this show. And it's like, dude,
where do you hire a personality, and where could we get one for this show?
Burbank, LA.
Is there? Do you know a guy we can call to get some personality on this show? We need one of those personalities, guys.
Let me go to Amazon.
That's what we need.
Well, clearly,
you go to
personality.
What they the first requirement is that you had to be a woman or a minority. Oh no, wait, those two other guys were. Well, you don't know what kind of minorities they might have been.
Yeah,
they were wearing very, very tight pants. That's all I'm saying.
They were wearing tight pants.
The technical term for that is plum crushers.
Nut binders.
Yeah. My wife is in TV production, and looking at what she saw, she thinks it was several $100,000 to produce all that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, she knows a lot more than we do, so but it did look expensive to a degree. But also maybe a little cheap. But the audience will decide.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're not gonna have Jim. Well, Jim does his own Twitch channel where he just sits in his own studio and talks to fans and stuff. So he's kind of in this space already. But obviously, if you're gonna do it like DC proper, you're gonna have to spend a little coin on it.
Does anybody really want that hyper produced stuff, or do they want to?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think it's a really silly kind of waste of money, and they'll probably shut it down really soon. This is what I think.
Well, we'll see. Because
it doesn't seem sincere.
Yeah, it is insincere. If they were gonna try to do, I mean, if they're just trying to do some like After the Walking Dead type of show, I can't remember what that's called. The show they do after The Walking Dead every week. Because I don't watch Walking Dead.
About it, but I can't bear to watch any of those things. They seem so crazy,
I can't
boring to me.
But if they're trying to do that for a 3-hour-long YouTube audience, there will be people who will watch it. I won't.
There will be, but it won't be very many. There won't be very many.
We might do it just to attack the Earth, just to take over the space every week. But
well, yeah, that's the thing is you can't. Your brand is. I mean, we can do it here because we're kind of street level, but like once you're at that level and then you're doing what they're doing, your brand could get out of control really quick. Like you could become a meme.
Yes.
To like not in a good way, not in a good way. you can get memed in some really bad ways. Like they have everything to lose. It's not the way I'd spend
I think
money.
the uncomfortable Kevin Smith John Barrowman moment might be a meme.
Oh, I missed that.
And then Liz Lemon looking at Kevin Smith's daughter. That was kind of funny. They told me I would be the pretty one. There was this young woman who, until the other girl came out, was the younger, attractive female. And then as soon as Kevin Smith's, I guess, daughter, that was his daughter, came and sat beside her, her whole body language changed.
Oh,
and
really?
She looked like a predatory cat, like she wanted to reach out and slit her throat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to just rewatch this from the beginning, I think it sounds like. Is it 3 hours long though?
Yeah, but we started in about 2 hours. So
okay.
After that. But no, the Kevin Smith John Barrowman thing was very interesting because John Barrowman started the show on the other couch, and then like 2.5 hours in or something, he jumps over to sit next to Kevin Smith. And then, they're sitting next to each other. Yeah, and John Barrowman reaches over and hugs Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith like stiffens up.
It's kind of like
it's
like I'm reaching across now, like over to your little icon, Mitch, giving you a little shoulder rub. Yeah,
and he like super stiffens up, and then after that, you can see like this discomfort between the two men. Like, it's you should just watch it. It's like you can really feel the discomfort, like that suddenly enters the space. I'm like, oh, he didn't like me hugging him.
Oh, by the way, your shoulders feeling pretty good there, Mitch. You've been working out there. All right, we got scolded here. Pixel Trader is scolding us, Mike. And Mitch, this scolding isn't for you, so you were blameless.
Of course.
In retrospect, my only concern for this whole thing is that it will be spun into us being juvenile or used as ammo against our movement as us using SJW tactics. We were absolutely being juvenile if that wasn't clear.
Guilty as charged.
Well, it's DC. It's a different story, right? Especially when you're just doing, you're doing it for some laughs and it's already a kind of a train wreck, and you're just piling on a little bit.
Well, and the funny thing is, like Edwin mentioned, we weren't even listening to it. We were just commenting on, we were commenting on what was visible, but the comments we would just say something here, and then like it would flood the chat.
Oh,
like, what was it? Trebuchet, what's his face? Trebuchet.
Yeah, and
everyone starts hashtagging it.
Yeah. Anusgate and hate us because they anus.
They have a real problem here with this. Cecil was really upset. And he said it's like his mission now. Like he is really upset by this, as everyone should be. I think
they do need to address it. And
well, we're laughing at it, but had it been a man doing that to a woman, it'd be all over mainstream media right now.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I'm pretty horrified.
And
we should have John De La Rose get that on the Federalist.
Yeah.
Work its way up to Fox News.
But yeah, talking about this Purdue stuff, people want to come in and be able to interact with us. Like Rhaegar Targaryen here says, they hate us because they cloak us, Edwin. Oh, little scatological. But they want to come in and be able to give you, give you some grief, meme you, and then celebrate with you too, and be treated like real valuable people instead of just, hello, consumer number 5.
Yes. Give us your money. Go away. That's pretty
Don't get us wrong. We still want your money, but
no, but we want you to stay. We want this. This is a community-based freaking business model, if you want to call it that. But it is based on a community. It's wonderful, but they don't understand it. They don't understand the whole process. They probably just see, oh, Ethan and Mitch and Mike, they're on YouTube and they're selling far more than than our average comic. So why don't we get on YouTube and then we'll sell far more? It's a cash grab probably.
Oh man. And then all right, so then I had scheduled like a conversation, kind of like debate with this dude that I was gonna with a person who's critical of Comicsgate, and I was gonna do it on my channel, but I do not like to stream against I do not like to stream against other Comicsgate people. I usually try and slip mine in when nobody else is going, right? And so I saw Mike was going. I was like, "Hey, you want to do it here?" And I hadn't really fully vetted this guy. I was kind of relying on a recommendation, and he was the only guy who stepped up to a call I had made, and it was not enjoyable.
Oh, you're talking about your chat earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped in for about probably 5 minutes. Is all I could take.
Yeah, because the guy came in, and I went back and looked at my body language and what was in my head, and I was actually trying to have a conversation with him, right? I was trying to find out something about him, you know, what he was upset about, where he was from, what stuff he liked, and he just came in kind of with I don't even know what to call the attitude he came in with.
He had the attitude of the Prince of Nigeria.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was really odd and uncomfortable.
Yeah, for everyone. I just had to boot him. At a certain point, I was just like, and we're done. And I just booted him.
He's convinced he was booted because, you know, we needed a safe space or something like that. It just,
of course, that's what he's convinced of.
That's just that was just so depressing, and I was a little sad for everybody.
Yeah,
I couldn't hang out.
We were losing watchers left and right. So
yeah,
that was just not good. Not good television.
No,
I guess.
No, it was not. No, it was not. And that's, you know, that's the primary thing. Talking about talking about people, you've got to respect the audience. You've got to respect the audience. I mean, this whole
and the whole chat was like, boot this guy.
Yeah. Well, the audience, I mean, this is part of what we're doing. It's like they're also customers of another variety. Like we have the people that bought the book, but we also have the people that come in and watch these chats, and maybe they aren't even buying the books yet. Maybe they, you know, but they may later. So
yeah, and they're paying with attention, right? They're giving
they're the most.
These are monetized channels. So
they're giving us their time, which is their most valuable asset.
Yeah. And there's, where else are you going to go? My wife said I should host him again, but it just didn't feel. It had been one thing if he was just going to blow me out with like sound logic, and I could have been like, "Yep, you got me, man. You BTFO'd me." That would have been great, but
no,
it just didn't have any
gravitas.
No, it was all tactics. It was all like tactical and weird and what's the word?
It was a real life Twitter debate, Twitter argument.
Yeah,
and so semantical and small.
Yeah, granular, and nobody wants to listen to that. It's so boring.
Yep,
it's so boring.
And I tried to. Yeah, that's why the one time I interrupted it, I was like, "Can we get out of the minutia?" And just get to the point.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh no, you can't interrupt." I'm like, yeah, I can. You're on my channel."
No, I think as a creator, someone who creates books for people or pitches books to people, we have to condense our pitches into small, digestible things. If you have a case to make or an argument to make, you should think about it the exact same way. You come in there and then you say you have your points, you have your disagreements, and then you address them, you know, clearly, and you make sure you guys were stuck up in the terms, and you want to agree on your terms first. But like when I came in, he was just arguing over weird little terms.
Yeah, and it's not interesting, and it's not productive. And I didn't even want to interject on some of the stuff, but he kept doing these rhetorical things that bothered me. He's like, "Well, I'm sure we can both agree." No, you've got to speak to your own experience, or like some objective facts. You can't speak for me.
Yeah. Well,
Edwin, his debate with the other guy lasted 4 hours. I could not speak
Oh
into
my
someone
gosh.
like, oh no, I'm just not that masochistic.
4 hours.
That's
No,
insane.
I
But
couldn't.
I'm disappointed though, because actually what I wanted was a conversation and maybe some light debate. And if you didn't see the opening, I'm actually trying to have a conversation with the dude,
hmm
right? Try and find out who he is, what he's interested in. And it just didn't happen.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Every time Edwin would say anything, he'd be like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. It seemed the guy seemed like maybe he had done this before and was very rote.
well,
And,
Richard said something, about the guy. I can't remember exactly what it was, so take it with a grain of salt. But that, he was like friendly, months ago, and then he kind of disappeared or something.
Yeah.
And he had some book or something he wrote that maybe Richard didn't promote or something. So it might just be sour grapes.
Oh, it could be. It could be. I don't know. And
Because
then,
people don't just change their entire opinion about something unless it's based on emotion.
yeah.
But
so here's the deal. I want to change. I would like to hope that we can change hearts and minds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and I kind of want to deconstruct this narrative that, it's just all about this anger, because even though there is anger, and the anger is with an industry that it is a reactionary anger. It's not an anger that arose out of a vacuum, right?
Yeah.
Reactionary anger. But even that's transitioning, because if you look at all the stuff that's being made now, DC and Marvel, they're going to mess around and they're going to become irrelevant.
I want to make a point that it is anger, and I think it's anger and it's disappointment and it's grief for the loss of the way this hobby used to be. But the left sees all of those disparate emotions, and maybe not so much disparate, all of those conjoined emotions, and they want to translate it into hate. And none of this is about hate. We don't hate any of these people. We don't even hate the people who are destroying what we see as our lifelong passions. We just disagree with them, and we wish they would go away. Right? But it's not hate. And it's not about the color of their skin or, who they want to sleep with, or it's not about anything other than the destruction of our lifelong hobby.
Yeah.
And for a lot of us, it's a hobby. For some of us, it's our livelihoods.
Mm-hmm.
I've been into comics for 40 years, 14 of those as a fan, 26 of those as a professional. Sammy Ree, $2. Who are we talking about? What's the guy's name?
So let me put his Twitter in, because I feel kind of bad, because we kind of had a debate and now we're kind of talking about him. Let's see. Victor Official, VKTR. Well, I'm going to copy and paste his Twitter into chat. If you go visit him, don't harass him or anything.
Yeah.
Don't engage in any vitriol. But I just want to put it in just to be fair, since we're talking about him and he's not here, because I kind of this did make me angry, because he said he had to edit something to make the person that he did the previous debate with not look like a butthole. And I'm thinking, wow, that's this man hosted you, and apparently hosted you for 4 hours, and you call him a butthole. It's like, that kind of sat wrong with me.
He was a very low class person, but trying to act like a high class person.
Yeah. But just in case you want his side of the story, because there's his Twitter, don't engage the guy, though. Don't argue with him. Don't call him any names. Okay? Again, we have a choice here. We're contesting with people, but we can contest in a positive way, right? We can make something to be proud about, right? We can be We can be that example. We can be the shining lights, right? And that's what I want you to be. Be the shining lights. You'll know when it's time to be a brawler, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very rarely time to be a brawler.
Yeah, and just keep in mind that most of these people aren't evil. Granted, I'm sure some of them are, but most of these people are just wrong. They're just wrong. And so maybe they're so steeped in their wrongness that they can't ever find their way out. But, you know, some of these people can be reasoned with. And so please put your best foot forward and try to do so. You know, just the other day, I mentioned it, and I'm going to keep mentioning it because it was so amazing. This guy came into this space anti. But he was open-minded enough to listen to the people who were telling him kindly and patiently what we are actually all about. And within the span of about 24 hours, he was promoting Comicsgate. So it can happen. And don't just automatically assume that because somebody has one opinion that they're always going to have that opinion, because they're a lot of these people are coming to these opinions based on just superfluous lies or misinformation or disinformation about what we're trying to do. And the best thing to do is just, you know, feel them out and see if they are open to actually listening to the truth, because the truth shall set them free.
$5 from Mark C. Thank you very much, Mark C. He says, watching that debate was like watching Matt Lauer and Tom Cruise discuss mental health.
That was pretty funny. Yeah. I like that.
Let's see. Professor Geek is asking me, he says, Edwin, do you ever worry one of these guests are just waiting to bring a content strike to your live stream? Man, for me, not so much, because I would just delete the video, I think.
Yeah, I don't think about it either.
And then, you know, he started using a little salty language, and so I think that kind of sped up Mike's decision to eject him.
Well, yeah, he's like, he drops the F-bomb, and we're like, we try not to use bad language. He's like, oh, so you can talk about anuses. Like, that's not a bad word.
Yeah.
Because of the anus gate thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I'll go easy on the guy.
Yeah. I think I will think real hard about doing one of those again. If I do one again, it would probably have to be with a comic professional who's maybe against. I think just a person from the space. I'm just not that interested. And I thought about this some. I just kind of they try to build this narrative, but what I wanted to do was give them a chance to come in here and talk like people, right? And talk to us, have a conversation. But I think he just wanted to come talk at us.
Yeah. And that's the hard thing, because for me, I mean, I've said it before. I tend to say that a lot, huh? I've said it before. It's just, I don't want to keep saying the same things over and over and over again, because it gets boring.
Yeah.
But you said it before all the time.
When I say you said it before, that gives permission to people to tune out for the next 20 seconds. But I have said it before. I grew up loving Crossfire and Politically Incorrect, and when it got to it, Hannity and Colmes, right? Hannity and Colmes was my favorite show on Fox when Fox came out. I always love when you have people on both sides politely and agreeably disagreeing, you know, and giving both sides of the argument, trying to massage or nuance their way through the minefield of disagreement. And I would absolutely love to have a discussion partner like that join us regularly and just work our way through everything. But nobody on the other side seems to want to come on. I mean, Tony Bedard, I keep saying Tony Bedard because he says he wants to come on. But schedules abide. But you put this feeler out for how long before you ended up with this one clown who didn't want to have a intellectual, interesting debate? He just wanted to.
Yeah. It took forever. I think we're killing chat. Let's do something.
I'm sorry, chat.
Mr. Mitch, what are you working on?
I am working on it's our last coloring contract. Well, not our very last. Elizabeth she's still going to color Outcast, which is being published at Image Comics. That's going to run for about. Well, I don't want to say how many issues because I don't know if that's should be public. I think it's going to end at some point, but she's working on the last so many issues of it. Anyway, we're doing this book. Steve Epting is the artist. Garth Ennis is the writer. It's a 6-issue thing, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to step on the company's toes.
Yeah, don't do that.
But anyway, they're one of our clients that came our way this year, and basically we the whole project, the whole 6 issues are due in like a week and a half, and we still have a ways to go. But once this is done, then Elizabeth and I have, I'll be full-time on Red Rooster, and she just has Outcasts to color. So we're pretty much full-time on Red Rooster after this. So I'm ready to get this done, out of the way, and start drawing on our own book on our own terms. And then we're also going to start writing The Futurists with Mark Pellegrini too. So
how are you going to do your breakdowns, or how is your workflow gonna work? Are you going to do the blue pencil rough outs on paper?
I start in the computer. Well, no, I'll start on paper with like an actual physical drawing, like layout drawing, and then I just go into the computer and pencil it as quickly as possible. And then I'll print that out either in like a non-photo blue color with my ink through my printer, and ink that up, or I'll print it in black and white in reverse and put it on the light box and trace it over the light box, and try to ink it all in one pass if it's all possible. I do the best I can, and then I usually have to clean some up in the computer. So that's my process usually. It's not always perfect. Sometimes I make changes in pencil on the fly on the drafting board.
Yeah. Let's see. For $5 from Bandit 848, I'm watching Firing Line after one of your streams. It was a little before my time, but I'm enjoying it, and thank you for the content.
Yep. Mitch, did Ethan text you back?
Oh, shoot. I think I got hung up on a conversation. I'll write him back. I'll write him right now.
Oh, but so he's fine.
No. I haven't heard back from him because I didn't write him.
Oh.
But I will.
Pete Mack says, Edwin, it's past your bedtime, young man. The beard's coming back.
I went back and read some of the chat from last night. It seemed like we had a little bit of a troll situation.
Did we?
A little bit, I think. Unless I was just misreading something, which is also always possible.
Hey, mods, if we ever get somebody in here who's just spouting profanity or using racial slurs, boot them. Boot them and don't think twice about it. You can get them out. We don't need that mess.
Oh, you know what? Elizabeth just texted me before. He's probably getting ready for his Andrew Clavin thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's probably what he's doing, because that's what he mentioned to me over the phone today. He was pretty high energy on the phone, but he was talking about the Clavin. Yeah. No, that's definitely something you want to prepare for. I mean, you don't want to go into any of these types of things without a lot of forethought and research and all that kind of stuff, even if they're friendlies. Right
on. Cool. All right.
So back when Mike was young, the way he did his live streams, he'd take the slideshow and go bang on his neighbor's door. That was the original live streaming. You remember slide projectors? Or
Oh yeah,
are you old
I still
enough
got one.
Yeah.
I still got one with a whole bunch of slides from the 70s and 80s. I haven't looked at it
Sit
lately.
down with an aunt or uncle for a 4-hour slideshow on their trip to Cincinnati, Ohio.
That's right. That's right.
That sounds romantic. I'd love
Llama
to get away to
Gigante, Edwin Boyette. Does the missus like the beard shaven or you? The missus likes it shaven. I actually had to shave for work because I needed to wear a respirator for a day.
Young man, your missus likes you shaven and you grow a beard.
Well, yeah.
Do you not belong to the Happy Wife, Happy Life Club?
Well, maybe Edwin
That's
has
why-
more than one way of making his wife happy.
That's why I'm always clean shaven though. My wife hates it.
Yeah, I do have a beard like a Brillo pad, though.
Hashtag Beardgate. Joshua.
Hashtag beard date, man.
Oh, look at that. We have 246 viewers and we're just talking nonsense. All right, give us a topic. What would the chat like us to discuss?
Now you're asking for trouble.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
going to be horrible. Okay, you know what the chat wants to talk about? Mitch may not want to talk about it, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Do you want to stay away from that, Mitch, or the?
No, I don't care. No, we'll talk about anything.
Okay, so you guys are not going to a convention this weekend. Oh, hang on. Before you get into that, Chester Busby just called for it.
Hey,
Uh-oh.
I could just have my son play that version.
Mitch, take your headphones out. Turn your speakers down. I'm going
One or the other.
to do the call of the Lonestar Squadron. It is very loud. Turn your volume all the way down. I'm not kidding.
Alrighty. Here we go.
I'm going to give you a 5-second warning at home. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lone Star Squadron! Ho!
I like mine better with all the gagging at the end.
That is the rallying call of the Lone Star Squadron.
Well, I'm sure your neighbors love it.
Oh, it's the best.
They've already moved.
In our little, we actually live in Hipsterville, and so me and my wife are actually the eccentric odd couple in this building.
Uh-huh.
We're the eccentric old couple here, and everybody
That's
else
funny.
is like millennials, so they're all still jamming and partying, probably smoking that wacky tobacco. We can smell it in the hall, neighbors. We can smell it in the hall.
Is it legal there now?
No, absolutely not.
Really?
But it's so widespread. I think
Yeah.
I saw a statistic that said like either like 60 or 70% of Hawaii's adults smoke marijuana at least once a year.
Once a year?
Yeah, well, you know what I mean, with some annual.
Christmas and Easter.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Mrs. Brightweiser
Yeah.
is not going to be at a convention this weekend.
Well, it's not this weekend. It's in October. Yeah. So it's the Lakes International Comic Festival, and they're great people. Every interaction we've had with them has been really, really nice. So nothing on them. But we did get an email from them that we thought was really weird yesterday, which was that they were receiving a lot of letters and emails about our appearance coming up in our relation to Comicsgate, a so-called I can't even believe I'm saying this. It sounds so stupid coming out of my mouth, but it pisses me off so much. An anti-diversity hate campaign. Well, I don't know if the word hate was used in their emails. I don't know. They didn't use that in my email. But it sounds so corny coming out of my mouth that I almost didn't want but I'm so mad at the same time. I'm so mad at the same time. Yeah. So I write them back and I say, "Oh, that sounds really silly," and that we've been harassed before by people on the internet, and that we would prefer them not to just ignore it. It'd be our recommendation, but it's their show. And they anyway, they felt like that needed to be addressed in some way, but then we started digging into it on Twitter, and just that we found chatter on Twitter that just made Elizabeth in particular very uncomfortable, and me a little upset. And that, in conjunction with knowing there's some type of campaign, write-in campaign, I find this astounding. I find, who has the time to do this about us, which is to me extremely bizarre, because we're very, very business facing, especially on Twitter, Facebook, and so on and so forth. Yeah, we just anyway, it's just very unfortunate. I can't guarantee my wife's safety at a show, and we're just not comfortable. We don't want to be set up, and even if it's just being set up and antagonized, it doesn't have to be like some kind of threat of violence. Just being put in an awkward position in a public space, to try to to be put in a position to defend. You have to try, not even try. I'm not going to be put in the position where I have to defend my customers or my friends against ridiculous allegations like that. Yeah. Ridiculous. It's offensive. Anyway, that's what happened. We're trying not to make a big deal out of it at all. Yeah. We just want people to leave the show alone, and people to leave us alone, and then everyone that's planning to go still go and have a wonderful time, and we'll just do something else.
And I'm sorry to bring it up. We actually do have a $2 super chat from Gojirify, and he says, "Love to Mitch and the beautiful Elizabeth."
Yeah, she's beautiful. So inside and out. So,
but the $2 goes to me. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, 30% of that we're going to go to Google. So
I know, right?
I'll get it. I'll get it on my stock dividend.
Here's the deal, Mr. Breinweiser.
Well, hold on. I also backed out of Dragon Con for this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't get any. Actually, I'm shocked that no one has looked up me on there and then tried to do the similar thing, because I've had write-in campaigns before. That's how I got blacklisted the first time from DC. But I just feel like the way things are right now, the quartering getting attacked, that psycho in freaking Florida shooting up the video game tourney. People are
just unhinged. The general chatter over the last week, and then having things directed at you during the course of what seems to be like people just howling at the moon.
Yeah.
And when people are doing things like that are irrational and strange and bizarre, that are literally like howling at the moon, like that don't make rational sense. I can't drag my wife anywhere near anybody that's doing anything like that.
No,
but acting as if I can't guarantee my wife's safety, if I can't do that, then that's irresponsible of me to take her to a place where I feel uncomfortable.
So I will be going to New York.
Okay.
Because their security, dude, you can't get in with a freaking pocket knife in that place.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've tried. But Dragon Con literally has zero security.
Does it really? Oh,
yeah,
that doesn't sound
good. Is a badge. Well, because it's not in a single center. It's in like 5 different hotels, in like 10 rooms in all these different hotels. So all you need is a badge to get into the hotel.
Mm.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Ooh, that sounds like it could be a disaster waiting to
Yeah.
happen.
And, yeah, I'm not afraid of, like, I mean, I wouldn't want to have to fight somebody, but I'm not afraid of that. But when that thing happened in Florida, I'm like, there's freaking unhinged people out there, and the temperature is too hot right now. So
yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
What I think is really unfortunate about the whole deal, and I'm not trying to, I don't want to belabor the point, because I'd rather move on from it, not make it a deal at all.
Yeah.
Can we even go to a convention anymore? Like, this can't be a permanent state, and other pros have to see what's going on and think like, wow, I don't even want to bring it up really, because it makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Things can't remain in this kind of state, because if it does, there's nothing left. There's no more fun. If you're not safe going to a convention, if creators don't feel safe, or if there could be, if there for any reason, for any made up nonsense reason, a group of your enemies, for whatever so-called nutso reason they come up with in their own imaginations, can conspire together to create a write-in campaign tying you to their make-believe hate group, we're in cuckoo land.
Yep.
Cuckoo land.
We are in cuckoo land. Irish and Sketchy has a super chat for £2.99, right? Pound £2.99, I guess.
That's
Weirdos ruin everything for normal people.
That's close to $5. If the exchange rate hasn't changed too much.
Well,
so thank you.
Here's the deal, Mitch. If you guys can't attend conventions, right? If it's no longer safe for the people that we have affection and appreciation for to be able to attend conventions, each of you should ask yourself a hard question. Should you be taking money to these other conventions? Right? Because it may just come down to we may need to make our own, or we may need to deprive some of these conventions of money until they get this straightened out and people start acting like adults. But I've been noticing, like, science fiction conventions. I'm friends with John Della Rose, and he's friends with quite a few different science fiction authors, and every other convention, conservative writers are getting banned from conventions, right?
It's ridiculous.
This phenomena is not limited to comic books. It is in science fiction. It is in gaming. It is in every popular entertainment in anything like this, right? Comics is another facet of something that is occurring all across our society, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Trump derangement syndrome. I don't say that flippantly in the slightest. It's freaking Trump derangement syndrome. These are people who were willing to put up with us, willing to put up and pretend that they could be friends, while Obama was in office, or before that, before everything got so heated. But when Trump got elected, they snapped, and they somehow believe that everybody who's not with them is a freaking Nazi. It's insanity. It's a freaking derangement that, I don't know, there's not enough room in all the mental hospitals in the world, but golly, you got to do something.
It is a kind of like a mass hysteria, and it's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's not the
That's
first
a great
one.
way to say it. Great way to say it.
And these things happen from time to time, like in populations throughout history, or moral panic. It's also there's kind of a moral panic going on at the same time. So I think you have a confluence of major emotional panics that are moving through the whole population, and then through subsets of smaller populations like fandoms and stuff like that. And then sometimes they converge together in like a perfect storm of weirdness.
Yeah.
But I think that we're witnessing things that seem to me things that are seen throughout history from time to time, like both in kind of contemporary history and in biblical history and all this other kind of stuff, right? Ancient history. You hear about these types of things that happen, like everybody in the village runs off the cliff, or the town of Munster just goes insane. They're in some kind of religious panic. It's like weird things happen to people collectively, and we're just kind of watching it and hoping that enough people just don't get kind of consumed in things that are too hateful and it's return to normal.
It's due, I think, in large part to their shutting off voices of reason being anyone who disagrees with them. And so they get into these cocoons, these echo chambers, and they seal off all the external input, and they just feed each other and this frothing madness until they're just lost to reality. I mean, I know I'm being maybe a little colorful in the way I'm describing it, but it is this mass hysteria, as you coined it, is just it's dangerous,
Yeah, well, I definitely agree. I definitely agree there.
Sorry to bring everyone in the chat down.
Let's see. Bandit 848 for $2. Actually, it looks like Buford T. Justice. Y'all see the New Mexico compound charges were dropped.
What?
Is that the one where the one father was training his kids to be like paramilitary people and the kids
shoot up schools?
Yeah.
Yeah. How is that dropped? What?
I don't know. He just asked, but
I have not been paying much attention to the news for the past 2 months.
I have not
we
either.
just got a super chat that said the charges were dropped.
Yeah, they were.
Oh, my wife says they were.
It's based on a technicality.
On a technicality.
A 10-day rule.
Yeah.
Basically, the prosecutor failed to file a piece of paper.
Oh, a prosecutorial error. So the charges were dropped. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how Bernadine Dorn and Bill Ayers got off, and then got into our educational system.
Was this guy well connected?
Yes.
Yeah.
The father, Wahaj Jr., his father is the imam in New York.
How did I know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way it rolls.
Interesting. Government raised the entire crime scene and destroyed evidence.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. It's always kind of funny how they always rush to sanitize things sometimes. Kind of different.
Yep. Just like the Vegas shooter.
We don't want to go full on Alex Jones tonight, though.
Well, you know what? I mean,
that was my wife's voice in the background. That was Mrs. Boyan.
Yeah, how did y'all both end up with such great voices and find each other? That's
I found my wife the same way you found.
Oh, that's right, MySpace. Yeah, under the Great Voices section. I should have. Yeah. Well, I looked in the right places. Sounds like we both did. So.
Oh man. Yeah, so my wife does this thing called 5 and 5, and so she's still getting it built up, but she does like a news program, so on YouTube, and she selects 5 stories, and she does 5 stories in 5 minutes.
Oh, cool.
She tries to stay towards the middle, but she's conservative, so some of that comes through.
Where does she farm her stories?
Sweetheart, what is your YouTube channel called? Kitchen Table Media.
I meant, where does she find her stories?
Like, where does she find? She sifts through the net. So when she wakes up, makes her coffee, and well, hang on, no, they're asking where you find your stories, and so we're getting there. We're doing it in a narrative. Oh, she's all excited to share. But Drudge is one.
Actually,
Drudge is the last place.
Okay. So,
she's getting the list. Conservative Treehouse.
Epoch Times.
Gateway Gateway Pundit,
Federalist,
The Federalist,
Independent Journal Review,
Independent Journal Review,
Zero Hedge,
Zero Hedge,
and PJ Media,
and PJ Media,
and then Drudge.
and then
Then
Drudge.
Drudge.
Yep. Let's see. Gibbons1138. Thank you for $2. He says, "What till you hear my voice?" So I'm guessing that meant wait till you hear my voice. I imagine you sound exactly like Cecil. Let's see. Chester Bubsby. Edwin, could you ask Mitch to tell us about the long-term plans for Red Rooster?
Oh, yes.
Oh man. Well, I mean, we're trying to really build something with this. We're launching the Futurists with Butch Geis, and Mark Pellegrini is going to help me realize the script, which has been dancing around in my head for a long time.
Is it the same universe?
No, not totally sure yet. I mean, they're different, totally different time periods. They may be in the same. I have some other stories. I actually do kind of have a universe architecture that links some of my other stories together, both mine and another collaborators of mine, the Futurist guy. I don't want to get into that tonight. That's way too heady and not related to this question at all. Mark Pellegrini and I sketched out kind of a whole world for the Red Rooster that's like what we're telling you with Golden Age is like this hinge between his past as the Red Rooster and his glory days and the story that we plan to tell, which is the next 12 or more issues worth of material, which are like this more darker side of the Red Rooster, right? He is no longer a celebrated vigilante folk hero. Like he's, and how do I don't want to say this without giving away too much. Like all the characters come back. All the characters will come back, or most of them, but in very, very, very different roles in the next books. And so what I plan to do is, the plan right now is to do Red Rooster 2, which would probably be another 60-page deal on Indiegogo sometime in, like, I guess late spring 2019 or something like that, or spring 2019. After you get as soon as I get it in your hands, I'll go right in and do the second one. Beyond that, the mission really is to get the Red Rooster and the Futurists and all of our content into as many hands as possible. Like absolutely. Like I want to put this in front of as many faces as possible. And so through, that means like looking at retail and distribution and trying to come up with a method that accomplishes that goal in the best way possible. But I don't know exactly what that's going to be yet. But I am definitely active on pursuing. I'm very active in pursuing these things. People don't quite know. Hopefully, I'll have some cool announcements.
I have a question for you, Mitch. Brian Pulido will get his books done before he launches a Kickstarter. You've made a significant amount of money on the first one. Would you consider waiting to launch the Kickstarter or the Indiegogo for the second one until you're actually done with it, since you'll probably have a good cushion?
I'll probably definitely have more pages done. So I'll probably do I want to have at least, I don't know, it's 6 to 12, maybe 15 pages done, and I think that might be enough. I mean, it also depends on. That just depends. I don't know. Maybe I can throw it out as a poll on Twitter and see what people prefer.
Yeah, my reason is obviously, I think from purchase to delivery, I think we'd want to shorten that as much as possible.
Yeah.
And so if I could personally, if I could afford to do that, that's the way I would do it. I think Pulido's got. I mean, and obviously Pulido has a very well proven track record the way he's delivering. So. We might want to steal some of his ideas.
Yeah, I should dig into what he's doing, and and see what he's I know he's doing very, very well with crowdfunding.
Yeah,
I see your point. I don't know. I'll think about that. I would love for Indiegogo, because we're selling. I mean, I've sold nearly 3,000 not units, but backers. 3,000 backers. I would love. I'd love to be in the situation, and this is what I'm trying to create, where Indiegogo is kind of secondary as a source of income, because it's a smaller audience, where you're just never going to get. Well, you maybe never say never, but I really don't think you're going to get lots of kind of random people just coming onto Indiegogo to shop for their comic books. It's just going to be kind of who we can get on blast and through our email lists and mailing lists and contacts and social media networks.
Movers.
So, but I don't see why there's any reason I couldn't get Red Rooster in front of 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people, 60,000 people, or even more. Just get it in front of them. Just get it in front of them and see if I can bait the hook and put a ripe fruit on the tree, of a shelf on a retail space, and try to get some passersby to pluck it. Seriously, that's the way I think about it.
Mitch, what do you put in your toaster, Mitch?
What do I put in my toaster?
Yeah,
everything good. And spicy and nice.
No, I was just thinking about putting the ripe fruit on the tree, and then I guess putting the toast in the toaster.
Putting the toast in the toaster. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Well, comic books are like ripe fruit. That's the way I think of them, anyway. You put a thing out on a shelf. You're mimicking. I try to think about. I think about things weird, but it's how I form my
getting some
strategies.
Evolutionary psychology here.
Yes, because what would happen if you're a boy? Let's say you're a 13-year-old boy, and you're just leaving the nest. So this is the time period in which you discover comic books and adventure stories. And the reason you do so is because you're trying to mimic what it means to be a hero to your community or your tribe or your village or whatever, right? So you need to figure out what it means to be the hero before you go on the adventures with the young men of the tribe, right? Hunting adventures or whatever. And so you're 12, you're 11, 13, you're leaving the nest for the first time, and you go out and you find fruit on the tree for the first time. Or you discover a new fruit. When you discover a new fruit, you come back to the village with great excitement. It's like, look, it's sweet, it's awesome, it looks rad, and look at this weird shape it's in. That's what a comic book is. Kids leave the nest, they go to a drugstore or a bookstore or a comic book store or a whatever it was, a video rental store or whatever it might have been the case 25 years ago, and they see a comic book, pick it up because it speaks to them in the same way that a ripe sweet fruit speaks to them, and they've gone on an adventure away from the nest and found this thing that talks directly to them, and then they can take it back home with them and share in this, not only a fruit, but it offers you an experience.
Is Red Rooster in demand now, or is it completely closed out? Okay,
it's in demand. Yeah,
Red Rooster is in demand. So get out of your nest. Go grab this ripe fruit and bring it back to your village so you can be a hero.
Yeah, that's isn't that weird? I don't know, that's the way I try to boil things down.
No, I think that's actually a decent
adventure.
analogy.
It's how you create a chemical response within your customer, and it's when you create a connection with a customer in that way, that's like you're creating a chemical reaction in their brain that's very, very pleasurable, and it's an experience they want to relive. So if you go and you discover the Lord of the Rings art book, and you're like, oh wow, I've never seen that before. That was a wonderful experience, and then you just get more curious and curious about Lord of the Rings, and you read the books, then you watch the movies, and whatever. It's how people keep coming back for the hit of that drug that they got because they went on an adventure and found a ripe fruit, and it was delicious and a wonderful experience, and everyone loved them for finding it. And so they go back and they want to tap that again and again.
Yeah,
there's an obstacle in the road. And it's from Ronald Frechette. He says, "This fruit tastes like chicken, Mitch." It sounds like shenanigans.
It's also in a weird way, it's being first. it gives you this bragging right, right? Like of all my friends, I was the first one to discover the Fantastic Four, and then I showed it to them, and now they all read the Fantastic Four. But it was me that brought that, laid the hen before the tribe.
And that gives you clout. That gives you clout within the tribe.
Right.
And clout is important, and we all value clout. No matter no matter how much we bellyache, we live in a hierarchy, and we want to have status, and reputation within our communities.
And to that end, I was mentioning in a stream with Ben and talking about Alterna and how they're doing the newsprint books, and they can get into Walmart and stuff like that. And I'm like, I think it would be well worth it to break even take a loss on getting newsprint editions of these books into every single returnable outlet where spontaneous purchasing happens, right? Because that's how we all first read comic books. Nobody walks into the comic book store to buy their first comic book. It's always that spontaneous buy. You see it on the spinner rack, you see it in the magazine rack. And if we could reach out with this brand new era of books, and even if we're all in our own zones publishing wise, if we can move together to get all of our books like in that newsprint venue into places where kids can find them, it's totally worth taking a loss on it, because we're building a future generation of readers of comics in general. But more importantly, what was your first comic book, right? What was your first comic book? If you're 9 years old and your first comic book is Red Rooster or Lone Star or Cyberfrog because you saw it, next to Car and Driver at Barnes and Noble or whatever it was, and it was hella cheap, and it was this action-packed thing. We've got to get back out there and get those kids back into this hobby.
You should call me tomorrow, Mike.
Okay, tomorrow.
Call me tomorrow. I might make you sign it. I might make you sign an NDA, but we have something to talk about. I'm serious.
Fantastic.
All right, we'll talk tomorrow.
You know what's funny? Mitch? So many of these streams, I think just last night there was business done on a stream, and it happens all the time now. Like I was talking to Ben Henderson the other day and sent some people his way, and it's neat. It's fun because everybody's kind of networking in real time here, and opportunities unfold in front of people, and ideas are being born right from this fertile environment here.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool experience, and I like that it's going to be there from the historical record.
Well, Mr. Miller, I have still got to eat dinner, so I'm going to say good night to you two gentlemen.
All right.
It's almost 9 o'clock here in Hawaii.
All right. It's actually midnight here, so I need to tap this out as well. Mitch, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I'll do it again.
Everyone, Red Rooster. Everyone, I'm sure everyone's already subbed to Mitch, but Mitch, if you want to give your sub in your Twitter or whatever, please take the opportunity.
It's The Last Comic Book Artist on YouTube and M. Brightweiser on Twitter and Instagram.
Edwin?
So that's it.
Yourself?
You can find me on YouTube and Twitter as Edwin Boyette and not as a meowing cat.
It's that cat. And I am, of course, Blacklist Universe on You're Here. If you're already here and you don't know how you got here, please sub. Hit the bell for notifications, hit that like button. I hope you enjoyed your time here. We are here every night. Look at this beautiful girl that once in a while pops up into my stream. It's my daughter, my son with the ugly face. Oh, man. Well, did you see the face he made? Look at that. Look at that face.
Yeah, that is an ugly face. Only a father could love it.
Yeah, so my Indiegogo still going on. It is in the description, lonestarcomic.com. If you would rather type it in, feel free. Every night, our good friend Edwin gives his benediction on how to be a wonderful person. Edwin, take it away.
Yeah. All right. So wherever you are in the world, you matter. You have value. You're not alone. Right? You matter to us. You matter to the people in this chat. You know, I would ask that whoever you are, wherever you are, that you treat people with as much kindness, respect, and compassion as possible. And be the best version of yourself that you can, so that wherever you plant your 2 feet, that corner of the world is a better place because you stand there. And until we meet each other again, I wish you a good night and aloha.
Thank you, sir. Thank you again, Mitch, for being here. Lone Star Squadron, you are dismissed.